I first became enamored with Porsche in 1971. I said to Jeannie, someday I'm going to own a Porsche. Her response was, that's just because John has one. Basically, where I grew up, you were either a Chevy guy, a Ford guy, or a Mopar guy, and I was a Chevy guy. Our idea of a foreign car in those days was a Studebaker. The thrill for us in building the collection has been in the search for these cars. And we realized that with almost no exception, when we acquire a particularly older historic Porsche, that we're taking the responsibility to take care of that car from someone who has invested a lot of time and care in that car to get it to that point. Our first new Porsche, the 1995 993 Carrera 2 in Amethyst, we purchased at Performance in Chapel Hill. And it started our relationship with Mr. H and his team. I love to come to your dealership, to Porsche Southpoint. I love to come particularly on that first Saturday every month when you host Cars and Coffee, and you get 150 plus Porsches of all makes coming. The new cars are just fantastic. I mean, they're just fantastic. Just when you think they can't improve a 911, they do. The remarkable history of this small company starting in a sawmill in a little town in Austria that built their reputation on endurance racing and continues to innovate to this day. I admire their obsession with quality. I admire their obsession with innovation. I admire their obsession with performance. You never take for granted the brand passion and the brand loyalty. I sit on too many boards, and there's not another company in any industry that wouldn't love to have that kind of customer loyalty and passion. We're really pleased when a lot of people who otherwise might not come to this part of downtown Durham over the years walk in and see what Jeannie's done and see the cars, and it's become a real joy for our family. I kid people, we probably have more invested in the floor than I did in the first house I owned. One of our recent additions is a Boxster. It's our first Boxster, which we bought through Porsche Southpoint. It's a Boxster Spider. We've really enjoyed hosting groups here for dinners, for receptions. We've had several Formula One nights where we get Lee Diffie, who's the voice of Formula One, and the Duke basketball team has had a couple of dinners here. It's always interesting to see these very tall athletes wanting to see if they can fit into one of these cars. It's a tight fit, but generally they make it. People ask about the collection and do I have a favorite car, and I always say, well, it depends on what day you ask, and it's kind of like my kids. And I want to say, Phil, your team, and I don't want to leave anybody out, Kim, Manny, Edwin, of course Tom Roos, all the way to Teresa, to Vicky. You've built a great team, and I've always watched businesses as to how they build customer loyalty and treat their customers. And I will tell Mr. H he's very well represented by Porsche Southpoint. I agree with Dr. Porsche. His favorite Porsche was going to be the next one.